The history of the Comanchero Motorcycle Club covers half a century.
When you look at this wall of memorabilia here, what comes to mind? What do you like the most about it?
It's just a memory of the club.
But their story can be told through the eyes of one ruthless man. A man who embodies the grit and determination of the Comancheros more than anyone.
Today's charging of the 44-year-old male is one of the most significant arrests made by Victoria Police in recent years.
He's risen up from nothing, taking the bike club by storm. And he never once shied away from violence. The outlaw world knows him by his name, and the police have been on his back for ages.
Police planted listening devices, which will now form part of the case against the Comanchero boss. But detectives haven't revealed where the bugs were planted and what was heard. And now that they have him firmly within their grasp, they will not let go until they destroy everything he holds near and dear. A long-time suspect in the 2019 shooting death of drug trafficker Mithat Razimi. Heavily armed police pounced on Murray at his home before dawn, raiding his Hallam gym, seizing evidence including computers. But what they fail to realize is that Mick Murray wasn't born yesterday. He's been scheming, he's been planning, and he would rather die than go down under.
Some individuals, some criminal groups think they can operate above the law.
And yes, they can have their laugh for now, but Mick Murray is like a dragon with many heads. They cut one and another one sprouts up. If they think they have him pinned down, boy, are they wrong. Tonight we shall examine how he rose up to such dominance in the Comancheros Motorcycle Club. What's so special about him that the police want to tear him apart?
Michael Murray is the national president for the Comancheros. They brought him here and he was questioned for several hours by detectives. Buckle up as we reveal his rise as one of the fiercest Comanchero bosses of all time. (1978), Melbourne, Australia. The Vietnam War has just ended, leaving a lasting impact on society. For many veterans returning home to Australia, the echoes of battle still resonate with them. They're going to start life afresh, despite the societal indifference and lack of support they face. Much worse, they will struggle with PTSD and feel isolated. This will add to their difficulties in readjusting to civilian life, leading to a society where they feel unsupported and unrecognized. And this shall give birth to the ruthless motorcycle clubs we know today. But at the heart of this saga is this lively city. A city that pulses with a unique energy, both vibrant and gritty. Back in 1978, its streets were alive with the sound of factory machines and motorbikes thundering down asphalt canyons. And it was into this world that Michael Mick Murray was born. A world where toughness wasn't a choice, but a necessity.
From a young age, he had to navigate the challenges of a city still grappling with the aftermath of the Vietnam War.
His father, a factory worker, and his mother, a nurse, both worked long hours to provide for the family. He often found himself alone, finding solace and excitement in the streets. Scraped knees and skinned elbows were badges of honor, earned in daring escapades from speeding cars and impromptu games weaved between towering lampposts and bustling crowds. In these streets, respect wasn't something handed out freely. It was a commodity fiercely guarded and earned through grit, determination, and a willingness to stand your ground.
Mick's natural affinity for leadership and his quick wit became evident early on. He was known in his neighborhood not just for his physical toughness, but for his ability to strategize and think on his feet.
The rumble of motorbikes wasn't just background noise to him. It was a symphony that resonated deep within him. A call to a world of freedom, brotherhood, and some whispered, a touch of danger. He had a close-knit group of friends with whom he shared many adventures, from late-night rides along the coast to quiet moments fishing at the Yarra River. These experiences instilled in him a deep appreciation for loyalty and brotherhood, values that would both guide and complicate his future decisions. Some teenagers become lovers. Others become rebels. But for Mick Murray, the biker world was his dream. He began drooling over the outlaw biker culture that flourished in Melbourne, so much so that he became drawn to one club, the Comanchero Motorcycle Club, a name that sent shivers down the spines of some and ignited a spark of admiration in others.
He found their allure of camaraderie and power almost irresistible, especially because he had always been a fighter since his childhood.
The Comancheros weren't your average motorcycle club. Founded in Sydney in the late 1960s, they were a brotherhood forged in loyalty, a band of outlaws who lived by their own code. Newspapers whispered of their exploits, some heroic, some less so. But one thing remained undeniable. The Comancheros were a force to be reckoned with. For Mick, the club wasn't just about the thrill of the ride. It was about belonging, about being part of something bigger than himself. He craved the camaraderie, the unwavering loyalty, and the sense of purpose that the club offered. He found mentors among the older members, learning the unwritten rules of the brotherhood and honing his skills on the bike and in the more shadowy aspects of club life. Due to his tenacity and grit, he rose ferociously through the ranks of the Melbourne chapter quickly. Why? He had a natural charisma that drew others to him, along with a fierce loyalty that demanded the same in return. He wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty, to stand toe-to-toe with anyone who dared to challenge him or the club. His reputation for being both a strategic thinker and a formidable enforcer grew within the Comancheros and beyond. By the time he was in his early 20s, Mick had become a prominent figure in the club. The camaraderie he found among his fellow Comancheros was a stark contrast to the isolation he often felt during his childhood. This brotherhood, however flawed, provided him with an identity and a mission that he pursued with unwavering determination. Mick wasn't all muscle and bravado. Beneath the tough exterior was a keen intellect and a megalomaniac business sense. He understood that loyalty and respect were vital within the club. But in the world outside, a different currency held sway: money. He started venturing into legitimate businesses, establishing the Nitro Gym in Hallam, a place where fellow bikers and fitness enthusiasts could hone their physiques. A tattoo parlor followed, adding another layer of legitimacy to his growing empire.
These ventures thrived under Mick's leadership because he possessed an uncanny ability to spot opportunities and capitalize on them.
The businesses became not just a source of income, but a testament to his ambition. But not everyone thought well of Mick. Behind the shadows, people started questioning his wealth. How's it that a son of a poor man was taking over the club and building a name for himself? Was the money from the gym and the tattoo parlor truly all there was? Or was there a darker side to Mick Murray's success? And they were right. His duality in the civil world and the biker world allowed him to operate in both the public eye and in the shadows, making him a formidable figure in Melbourne's underworld. The success of his businesses also helped to launder money from illegal operations, creating a complex web of financial transactions that were difficult for authorities to untangle. Despite the outward appearance of respectability, Mick's businesses occasionally found themselves at the center of controversy, especially after the 2010 Bondi Brawl. Tensions between rival motorcycle clubs in Australia had been simmering for years, occasionally erupting into violence. But in October 2010, a seemingly innocuous encounter in Bondi Beach, a popular tourist destination, escalated into a public spectacle that sent shockwaves through the nation. Mick Murray and his right-hand man, Mark Buddle, found themselves at the center of a violent brawl involving members of the notorious motorcycle club. Fists flew, tempers flared, and the roar of motorcycles was drowned out by the shouts of a startled crowd.
The Bondi Brawl was not just another street fight. It was a symbol of the ongoing turf wars and power struggles within the Australian biker community.
This confrontation left several individuals injured and resulted in numerous arrests, drawing significant media attention and further tarnishing the image of motorcycle clubs in the eyes of the public. For Mick, the brawl was both a challenge to his authority and an opportunity to demonstrate his leadership and resolve. This brawl gave authorities a reason to pursue the Comancheros. They put up a spirited fight to unearth his underhand dealings, but Mick put up an even bigger fight to protect his club. He faced charges of assault and public disorder, and despite the legal battles, his reputation as a fearless leader remained intact, bolstered by his unwavering commitment to the Comancheros and his ability to navigate the turbulent waters of biker politics.
The Bondi Brawl also highlighted the broader issues of violence and criminal activity within motorcycle clubs. It brought to light the extent of the rivalries and the lengths to which these groups would go to assert their dominance.
Mick's involvement in such high-profile incidents underscored his central role in these conflicts and solidified his status as a key player in Melbourne's underworld. His response to the Bondi Brawl was strategic. He used the media's attention to reinforce the Comancheros' image as a formidable force, while also working behind the scenes to broker alliances and strengthen the club's position. His ability to balance public perception with the internal dynamics of the club was a testament to his leadership skills and his understanding of the complex world he operated in. Four years after the Bondi Brawl, whispers about Mick Murray's temper began to solidify. In February 2014, a seemingly minor incident on a Melbourne road exploded into a display of rage that shocked even his closest allies.
Thrown from his motorbike, this rider didn't see it coming.
The rider stopped at an intersection, become fully stationary, and has been impacted heavily from the rear.
The 33-year-old was flung across Forest Road at Peakhurst last night.
Details remain murky, but reports point to a heated exchange between Mick and another driver, culminating in a display of aggression that raised eyebrows.
Police say he used his SUV as a weapon.
Was this a momentary lapse in judgment or a glimpse into a darker side of Mick Murray, a side fueled by power and a hair-trigger temper? The incident sparked concern within the club and law enforcement alike. Could the once charismatic leader be losing control? However, this road rage incident was not an isolated event. It reflected a pattern of behavior that had begun to surface, raising questions about Mick's ability to manage his temper and maintain his leadership.
The media seized upon the incident, portraying Mick as a volatile figure whose aggressive tendencies could no longer be ignored.
For the Comancheros, this was a critical moment. The stability of the club hinged on the perception of its leader, and any signs of weakness could have significant repercussions. In the weeks following the incident, Mick faced increased scrutiny from both law enforcement and the public. The road rage incident became a catalyst for a series of investigations into his activities, both legitimate and illegal. The media frenzy surrounding the incident painted Mick as a hot-headed leader whose temper threatened to undermine everything he had built. But were they right? In February 2014, Victoria Police conducted a series of coordinated raids on properties linked to Mick Murray.
We're doing targeted vehicle stops, we're doing firearm and weapons prohibited order operations, search warrants and searches.
The targets included his home, the Nitro Gym, and the tattoo parlor, the very businesses he'd built to establish legitimacy. The results were staggering. Police seized a reported $200,000 in cash, a significant sum, especially considering he ran a gym and a tattoo parlor. This, coupled with the ongoing rumors of his involvement in organized crime, painted a picture of a man deeply entrenched in the criminal underworld. But Mick Murray wasn't one to go down without a fight. He turned the tables, taking Victoria Police to court in a daring legal maneuver. His claim? The police had confiscated a substantial amount of money, over $200,000, and it had mysteriously vanished. Where did the money go? Was it a case of overzealous police or a calculated attempt to cripple his finances? The courtroom became the new battleground, with Mick Murray using the legal system as his weapon. Such irony. Was this a desperate ploy by a cornered man, or a calculated move by a cunning strategist? Only time would tell. The year 2018 marked another dark turn in Mick Murray's story.
The Comancheros boss behind bars, accused of ordering a gangland hit. Mick Murray, today charged with murder.
He found himself embroiled in a high-profile gangland shooting, accused of orchestrating the execution-style murder of Mitat Rassimi, a prominent figure in the Melbourne underworld.
The details surrounding the case remain shrouded in secrecy, but the charges painted a chilling picture of a man allegedly willing to eliminate rivals with ruthless efficiency.
While awaiting trial, Mick continued to fight the accusations against him. He maintained his innocence, claiming to be a victim of circumstance and a target for those seeking to undermine his authority. But the public image of the charismatic leader and successful businessman had been tarnished. The media painted him as a ruthless kingpin, a puppet master pulling the strings in Melbourne's criminal underworld. And then it happened. In March 2018, Murray was jailed for contempt of court after he refused to cooperate with the chief examiner of Victoria State in March 2017.
Today's arrests are also about recognising our commitment to victims and the incredible harm these syndicates wreak on our community.
And that's when all hell broke loose. With Mick Murray behind bars, a power vacuum formed within the Comancheros. Rival factions vied for control, and tensions within the club escalated. Melbourne, a city already on edge, watched with bated breath as violence erupted on its streets. Drive-by shootings, brutal assaults, and intimidation tactics became commonplace. Was Mick Murray's absence the spark that ignited the flames, or was the violence simply a continuation of a long-simmering conflict?
The internal struggles within the Comancheros highlighted the challenges of maintaining order in the absence of a strong leader.
Mick's arrest and subsequent incarceration left a void that was quickly filled by ambitious members eager to assert their dominance. This period of instability was marked by increased criminal activity and a noticeable uptick in violent incidents, underscoring the precarious nature of leadership within outlaw motorcycle clubs. In 2019, Murray was arrested during a series of raids conducted by Task Force Sector, a specialized unit within Victoria Police, focusing on organised crime.
Mick Murray is charged with murdering a Tony Mockbell associate in Dandenong in 2019.
The charges against him were severe, including allegations of his involvement in the gangland-style execution of Rassimi in Dandenong and a fatal drive-by shooting at Melbourne's Love Machine nightclub. Murray's arrest and subsequent trial garnered significant media attention, highlighting the ongoing struggle between law enforcement and organised crime in Australia.
The prosecution painted a picture of a ruthless leader orchestrating a cold-blooded execution, while the defense portrayed him as a victim of circumstance and a target for those seeking to undermine his authority.
The trial proceedings revealed a complex web of alliances and rivalries within the biker community, as well as the strategic maneuvers employed by both the prosecution and the defense. The prosecution argued that Murray, as the national president of the Comancheros, had both the motive and the means to order the hits, using his position to eliminate rivals and consolidate power. Throughout the trial, Murray maintained his innocence, asserting that he was being framed by rivals and that the evidence against him was circumstantial at best. His legal team worked tirelessly to discredit the prosecution's witnesses,
and challenged the validity of the evidence presented. This included questioning the integrity of the police investigations and suggesting that key pieces of evidence had been tampered with or misinterpreted.
The media coverage of the trial was relentless, with each new development scrutinized and dissected by commentators and the public alike.
As the trial progressed, tensions within the Comancheros escalated. The power vacuum left by Murray's arrest led to infighting and attempts by rival factions to assert control. The verdict, when it finally came, had far-reaching implications. If convicted, Murray faced a lengthy prison sentence, potentially signaling the dismantling of the Comancheros' Melbourne chapter. However, if acquitted, it would not only bolster his position within the club, but also raise questions about the effectiveness of the police investigations and the judicial process. Regardless of the outcome, the Mick Murray saga is far from over. His story, marked by ambition, loyalty, and violence, continues to unfold, serving as a testament to the allure and danger of the world he inhabits. The trial's aftermath will likely shape the future of the Comancheros and influence the broader landscape of organized crime in Australia.